This scene is the scene where Vincent Vega, John Travolta, has to take out the big man, the big, Marcellus Wallace, he's referred to as the big man all the time, take out his wife, Mia Wallace, on just take her out to dinner.
And background action. Playback.
Action! Shoot him in the car.
Oh my God.
Sacrifice.
That's a wrap.
Let's just lower the microphone just a tad, just a touch.
Oh.
Action. Let's do one more like that. That was a great one.
Once we set it up, I knew that it would work.
Bob is going to solve the location holding area problem.
Right now, at this moment, we are setting up 2 cameras for Bruce Willis to drive to a stoplight and make a couple of wisecracks.
Whoa!
Whoa, some guy, just some asshole just walked right in my frame. Who is that guy? Oh, what an asshole. There's another asshole, my producer, right next to him, man. Tapping his fucking watch. Oh, whoa, we got a driving asshole here. Okay, so Mr. Willis, let me ask you a question here. Is this the finest moment of your acting career, or what?
This is the pinnacle. From here on in, it slides down the backside of the hill. Could be it. People years from now say, "Whatever happened to Willis? He had such a good career going." And they'll look back to this point, this moment. This was where it rolled over.
This is your stroker ace.
Smokey and the Bandit.
No, Smokey and the Bandit was good. It was stroker ace. That's where he lost them all, man. And from a downward spiral ever since.
Poor Bert.
Now you see right here. See, I'm the novice when it comes to this stuff. Bruce, he's Mr. Driving around with cameras attached to his car.
You know what's going to happen, though? And you should be the first guy to do this. Someday in the next 5 years, somebody's going to take one of these and make a feature film.
Oh, I know.
Almost did it with Bob Roberts.
Oh, yeah, I know. I agree with you.
Some kid, some 17-year-old kid's going to make this killer, drop-dead, poorly lit video movie that is going to be the hippest fucking thing, and then there's going to be 100 of them after that.
Oh, I agree with you.
They're going to cost about $60,000.
That was a great one. Okay.
One more like that, because I'd rather give you a couple of them like that than.
Yeah, that sounds great. That was a great one.
Ron, talk up. Okay, we're holding traffic, we're rehearsing. Vials locked.
Okay, are you ready? Yep, it's all yours. And action.
Yeah, we can hold it for a little bit longer.
Common slave.
And
Action!
All that camera's getting is the impact. I don't give a fuck about panning or anything. All that camera is getting is the actual T-bone effect. What's going on here is we can see the teriyaki donut menu from this. However, the trouble isn't that bad in paradise. What we can do is we can move over the picnic table, put the extras where they were sitting. All right, shoot the picnic table out, put the camera in between the picnic table, the extras, and the teriyaki donut menu. Because all we're getting for there is the impact. All we're getting is the T-bone. All right. What I'm saying actually isn't so bad. What I'm saying isn't so bad. It's just different than what I thought. Insofar as, not the framing wise, it just seems like we're really close to them. The corporation. Which is not so bad. We are pretty close to them. Yeah.
Andre, you want to come over and set this shot up? Yeah, guys. Let's come on over here and set this shot up.
No.
Follow me, Andre.
Go. Come with
right
us.
over to camera 3.
Go. With your ass.
Come on over here. Just want to get you behind this camera and set this puppy up. Hi, Andre.
Quentin.
Yes.
Out of way. Come on, okay.
Please.
Ouch.
How's it look?
How's it look, Andre?
So Andre, you ready to shoot? We're going to turn the street over to the stunt guys and let them start rehearsing.
Sam, who would you like to go see the lady?
Each time we do the rehearsal, you're going to avoid him this side. Right. If he sees that he's late, he's going to stop and you're going to go straight through. Once he gets in your line of fire, he's going to keep going. You're going to always abort him this way. All right. Quentin, we're thinking about the Camaro and what it sees as it comes into its impact.
Well, the only part I'll use of that
Right, just at the very end.
And we had the camera in the back seat. Bruce drove in the intersection, and he goes like this. As he looked over, sees a Camaro, he goes like this. If I can have him do that, that'll be great for the Camaro shot. But I mean, that might fuck him up for what he needs to do once it hit.
Dennis, can you bring down the Camaro and put it in your contact spot?
Longer.
A little bit closer.
Less control.
Is that looking good for you, Quentin?
It's great. It's excellent.
High school one seems good.
One. Rehearsing. Action.
How you doing? This is Michael Moore.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Very good.
Thanks for doing this.
Oh, sure.
Me?
Yeah.
You like me?
Ooh, hey, you like you there. There you go.
All right.
I'm Roger.
Yeah, I know who you are. How you doing, Roger?
Terrifying that name must be to you.
No, that's okay. Prozac handle. Okay, here we go.
We're rolling.
All right, so let's say you got a 12-inch hypodermic needle. Where exactly does it go?
In the heart, about like right
about
there.
here? We'll do
Yeah,
it.
you count the
We'll do
ribs
it.
up.
Count the
All
ribs
right,
up.
yeah, you count the
Okay.
ribs up, and
Yeah.
it's about right there.
Right about
Yes,
there.
Exactly,
Okay, good.
yes.
It's a good thing to know, just in case.
Right where Uma Thurman's breast is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we don't
That's a
quite.
pretty wide space, Quentin.
Well, I got to say, Pulp Fiction was my favorite Disney movie of the year.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
I mean, that and The Lion King. You know, I go back and forth between them.
The Lion King is a lot more violent.
No, actually, Quentin, you know, I think high school dropouts all over America salute you. You know, I mean, this is living proof that those of us who did drop out of school, I actually completed high school.
Yes,
but,
okay.
you know,
Yeah, but in spirit, you were there.
I didn't. I dropped out of college.
You
But,
wanted to
you
drop
know,
out of high school.
I wanted to. I couldn't quite do it. It's a Catholic upbringing thing. I don't know what it was. But people are I think, really happy with your success. You know, and what do you have to say out there to all those people who are currently struggling and wanting to make their first film?
Basically, I think the number one thing to tell the people that want to make a first film is make it. Don't talk about it. Don't wait for every circumstance to be just perfect. It's like if you want to make a movie, make a movie. All right, take some money, buy film, put it in your refrigerator, and if you're the kind of person that'll make a movie, you know, every time you open up the refrigerator to get some milk, to get some whatever, and you see film looking back on you, you'll make the film.
You'll make the movie.
Am I right?
That's right. Don't wait around for those grants to come in.
Don't wait for grants. Don't wait for the circumstances to be right, the situation to be perfect.
Right.
If you're gonna do it, do it.
Just do it. How did this happen?
I don't understand. I don't know.
I am Cornholio.
Yes, exactly. I am Cornholio. Are you threatening me?
I need TP for my bunhole. Okay, sorry. Come on, give us your best Bob and Harvey Weinstein story.
Oh gosh, what's the best Bob and Harvey? Oh,
Best 30-second one.
Oh geez, that's like so tough. Let me see. Oh God, you actually made me draw a blank. Actually.
All right, let me make it easier.
A galaxy of stories.
As you think of it, let me remind you. I hate to go back to this needle again, but I was sitting there in Lincoln Center, opening night of the New York Film Festival.
Oh yeah.
I was there in the third row. And when Travolta puts the needle into Uma Thurman's heart, suddenly a guy behind me cardiacs.
Right.
Literally. I mean, he lived. Let's point that out.
He did live.
He lived, but we had to stop the film for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
And start the thing back.
What was I thinking?
What were you thinking up there?
It works. I did a good job with that scene. That's the desired effect. Cardiac arrest going on throughout.
2 thumbs up, 1 needle down. That's
exactly.
it.
There you go. Well, apparently that's what they. Apparently, I don't know if it's true, but apparently somebody died of a heart attack in the screening of Jaws. And when they told Steven Spielberg about it, he goes, "It works. It's effective. I did a good job on that reel."
Now, after they wheeled the guy out and he lived, did you ever find out? Like, did he get to come back to the film? Did he ever get to see it? You know?
Well, I found out actually. What we found out was he was like like an insulin guy. You know, he was like a hypodermic guy.
Right. Oh, okay.
Oh my God, Samuel L. Jackson just won.
Oh, that's great.
Best actor.
That is great.
Yes, he's definitely great.
Awesome. He's really great.
L. Jackson.
Right here. We were here for the moment.
We were here for the moment.
While it happened.
It happened.
Huh?
That is so cool. That is so cool. Isn't that cool?
That is beyond cool.
It's beyond cool.
Huh?
It's beyond cool.
The 2 best actors this year were Travolta and Jackson in the same category, as it should be.
I concur. I concur.
Look at this.
Hey, look at Why? We stopped our interview to listen to your speech.
That's right.
thanked you. I thanked you.
I heard you. We heard it.
Yeah,
Thank him again. Come on.
Thanks, Quentin.
Hey.
You the man.
Hey, man. You the man. Hey, thank you. No, thank you. No, you the man. No, you the man.
All right. We the man.
We the man. We are the man.
Their lawyers will be getting together here on Monday to work out the other problems.
Roger, how you been?
Hey, okay. No, I'm not Roger.
He's
Roger's
not
the
Raj.
bad guy.
He's the Roger and me.
Yeah,
He's
I'm the
me.
me guy. I'm the me guy. Roger's the bad guy.
Michael.
Yeah, I'm the good guy in the film. Yeah.
He did an episode of TV Nation where he went into a neighborhood and acted like a serial killer. All right, you know, in a house to see if anyone would notice.
Exactly.
And
I mean, I had my good friend to work for him.
nobody noticed
We
at
were
all.
bearing 55-gallon drums. We're
Full of like rotting shit.
blood all over the place. We put up a big blood-soaked sheet that said "Kids Picnic today, 2 p.m." Nobody called the cops.
And the beautiful thing that
Someplace out on Long Island.
Robert Towns is wearing my
Got
jacket,
your coat on.
but I wore it first. Peter Fonda said I have the power jacket of the.
because he hadn't seen Robert.
Yeah. But I wear it better. See, he's doing a Miami Vice thing.
Right.
See, I'm doing a Dean Martin thing. I'm doing a Jerry Lewis Cinderella thing.
So man, do we like get IFP like T-shirts?
I don't know.
Hey, I want an independent film channel T-shirt. I don't have one.
The one in. Yeah, you wanna sit
behind you?
No, this is your moment. You come on. This is all right.
Now, if Linda Florentino wins, I'm gonna flip out though. So I'll just.
All right, go ahead, go for it. Go for the flip out.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
How come in the ads you had no hair, and then in the movie you had all the hair? What was
I
going
don't
on
have
there?
a clue.
Huh?
I didn't have it
Figure
that
that
day.
out?
I forgot it.
Were they airbrushing your hair out? or
No,
was
the
that
day
all-
they took the pictures, I didn't have the hair with me. Linda Fiorentino? All right. Excellent. Most excellent.
These are the Justice Awards, right?
Yes,
You
exactly.
know?
Yeah,
Right.
these
This
are
is the people speak.
The Who should have fucking won awards.
Who should have fucking won awards? All right. Sam, it's really great that you were nominated in this category for Best Actor,
Thank you.
as it should have been with the Academy, if you don't mind us saying that.
Okay, no, I don't mind at all.
Wait a
Thank you
minute.
very much.
I asked him what he wanted to be nominated
What did he
as,
say?
and he said,
Best leading actor.
There you go. The truth comes out, and the lawyers will be meeting on Monday. No, listen, I was walking out of the Ziegfeld Theater one night, and you stopped me. You were with your wife.
Yeah.
And you grabbed me and you said, man, you got to put me in a film sometime because my wife loves you.
Right, and then you put my best friend Bill Nunn in your film.
And
and
I
not
went
me.
and put Bill Nunn in,
Yeah.
and then look what happened, you know?
Yeah, well, he's large too, though.
I'm sitting here doing the interviews, you got the award.
Well, you're going to get yours. Yours is
well,
coming. Believe me, I know so.
Well, it's kind of you to say that.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, I want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Hope you do
And
something
next time
with
you need
that.
a black man to put on the street in New York trying to hail a cab, try me.
Yeah. We know what that's about.
Oh, sure.
Where are you gonna put this thing?
I don't know. My wife's trying to find a new house right now, so we'll have places to put all the stuff that keeps coming to our house.
You know,
but probably on the mantelpiece or in my daughter's room.
They were advertising this on QVC last night for $20. I saw this thing. I'm sure I saw it. Huh?
I've seen the bird before.
You've seen the bird.
You may be right.
Yeah, we've all seen the bird. Anyways, we'll be back.
You seem to be wrecking these up, man. Steve Buscemi won last year, 2 years ago for Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Where does it up?
So the clue there is if you want one of these.
If you want a spirit, work with
the Q.
Work with the Q.
The Q man.
There you go. That's right. All right.
QT. SLJ.
The Q-tip. On the Q-tip.
With the
That's
SLJ. SLJ Army.
There you go. Thank you very much.
No gump happening around here, folks.
Not today.
All right. Thanks a lot.
It's like a box of condoms.
Thanks for that.
You never know when they're going to break.
Hi, Lawrence.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. In the flesh and blood.
Yeah. How we doing here? Okay. Cool. Okay. Congratulations. It's a great film. We're very proud of it.
We are.
Yeah. No, and you know you've been producing for what, 4 years now?
I actually been producing about 5 or 6 years. I made a little tiny horror movie called Pulp Fiction, called Intruder, and it was a great little movie. And that's the guy who introduced me to Quentin about 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow. I think anybody out there right now would probably want you to produce their film.
Well,
oh wait, that was another Lisa Gibbons question. I'm sorry. What I really want to ask you is, what was in that briefcase?
Oh, we'll never tell. We'll never tell. No,
Nobody's watching. This is cable. Come on.
Oh, well, shoot. Well, you know what's in there is, it's my Academy Award. No, I don't. We can't tell it. No.
Okay, give us your best Harvey and Bob Weinstein story from Miramax.
Let's see. They came onto the set of Pulp Fiction. We're at the Jackrabbit Slim. They take one look at the set, and he comes over to me and says, "Lawrence, I want to talk to you and Quentin. We want to make you a deal. We want you to be at Miramax. We want you to be in our family, and we want to make a deal with you guys." And that was sort of the beginning of this whole family with Miramax.
Yeah, no, they're great guys. Yeah. Now, I just heard your acceptance speech up there. Who do you think is going to be more angry at you for not thanking them? Your agent or God?
Oh, shit.
Come on.
I forgot to thank my agent. Oh, my God.
Your agent's going to be more pissed than God.
Oh, I'm so bummed. You know, I meant to thank them because I forgot to thank them last time.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, shoot.
But, of course, God,
I don't need to thank. I thank him on a regular basis.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But the agent, man, they'll cut you off just like this. I'm telling you.
I feel really bad. These guys are really my friends. And
yeah, well, let's thank them now.
Well, I want to thank my agents Mike Simpson, Elise Stallman, and my attorney Carlos Goodman.
Okay, there you go. You don't need those guys.
No,
taking all that money
really
from you.
Important
man, you're on the way. No, they're good guys.
They're good guys. A lot of help from them.
That's right, and it's people like that work with independent filmmakers that help us get through all the crap.
We couldn't have done it without them. I feel really bad now.
No, but you got to do it now in front of 20 million Americans.
I hope you guys are watching.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, congratulations again.
Thanks.
And good luck on Gump Night here in a
Well, I'm kind of glad we won these tonight.
Yeah.
Instead of our Academy Awards.
Sort of. These are the real awards,
yeah.
man. Forget that other stuff, right?
Totally.
And that little naked guy. A big bird there.
I don't know. This is my first, big thing, you know?
Well, there you go. Show it to Mom.
Hey, Ma.
All right.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Really great job.
Shit. Yeah, I forgot to my agent. No.
Frustrating years with my nose pressed up against the window. If I always just used to joke that if you wanted to send a letter to me, address it Quentin Tarantino on the outskirts of the industry. Trust me, I'd have got it.
A friend of mine, Sheldon Lettich, had mentioned that there was this guy, Quentin Tarantino, working at Imperial Pictures. I guess he was stuffing video boxes videos into video boxes, that is. And Sheldon said, "Yeah, this guy really knows your work. He knows the movies you've done, and you know, I also co-wrote Evil Dead 2, and so on." And so Sheldon says, "Yeah, Quentin would really like to meet you." So I met Quentin, and he seemed like this, you know, exuberant movie fanatic who had written a script. At that time, it was Natural Born Killers. When I read Natural Born Killers, that was the first thing I read of Quentin's, and I read True Romance and of course Reservoir Dogs. But I went, why isn't this film already been made? Because you have to understand, Quentin was so broke. He didn't have a car. He didn't have anything. That's why he would be crashing. He crashed on my couch all the time. Really broke. Just not a cent to his name. It was really great to see him get his first writing gig. Because making money for him any other way, that was fine. That was just the way to, but to make money, to get paid for what you really love to do, that was, I think, really meant a lot to him. And it was just great to see that. It was just like...
Scotty knew Lawrence Bender And amazingly enough, the first film that K&B ever did was called Intruder. Scott directed it and Lawrence Bender produced it. So that was February of 1988.
I made this film with Scott, and it was a little while after that. It went really well. It's called Intruder. And Scott was friends with Quentin. And Quentin was this buddy of Scott's who was a really talented guy, had a script, and you know, he needed me to produce it. I actually produced a low-budget movie.
I met Lawrence Bender at a party for a friend of mine, a friend of Lawrence's. Lawrence had just done his first movie. It was a $100,000 slasher movie called The Intruder for Empire, Charlie Band's old company. The cheapest movie Empire ever made, which is saying one hell of a lot. I really liked The Intruder. I thought it was like the Coen brothers had made a slasher film, all right? And I've always been a big fan of the slasher film genre. And I'd never met a real producer in my life. Not one who would talk to me anyway. So
he said, I'm going to write this script called Reservoir Dogs. It all takes place in the garage. And he explained this whole thing to me. And he said, we can make it for like $50,000. And he had just sold True Man, so he could have a little money from that. Not a lot. And I was going to see if I could raise any more money. We could shoot on 16 millimeter and the whole thing. And he wrote the script in 3.5 weeks, literally. And I went to his house, drove up to his house. He didn't have a car. And he was hand-picking them out on his typewriter, and I was reading them. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is really amazing. And I got really excited, and I said, listen, give me some time. I could raise some real money for this. And he said, no fucking way. And Lawrence basically said, hey, I can get you the cash for this. And Quentin put the caveat. It's like, all right, you got X amount of time. You know, it sounds like a movie plot in of itself. You've got X amount of time to get the dough. Otherwise, I got to go elsewhere. We signed like a piece of paper that we hand wrote out. And that's basically how it all began.
I kept waiting for somebody to tap me on the shoulder all through Reservoir Dogs saying, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out of here. And Lawrence was the one saying, calm down. They're not going to fire you. You're okay. I've got your back.
Hooking Quentin and Lawrence up in that sense, because it just reminded me of myself and Lawrence in that same situation just a year or two earlier. And so you're both really hungry. You both want to make the best movie you can. And it's weird, and you go and do it. It's just like, wow. It's like, cool. All right. It's kind of surreal. I mean, it's great. And everybody just wishes that they could even have a little piece of that, you know, of any kind. But to do what you love, and then to have people embrace you for it and want to give you awards and lots of money and everything else, it's kind of cool. And after hitting the pavement for Quentin for years and years, and just people going, get out, get lost, beat it, get out of here, your script sucks. It's especially, I think, gratifying, you know? So that's ultra, just so cool.
I think my first encounter with Quentin happened during Reservoir Dogs. I was still in New York, and I went to a casting call on a Sunday for this film, and I read it. It was just such an amazing script to listen to these guys talk and realize these were like guys talking about everyday stuff who had a kind of very unique outlook on life. That was pretty intense stuff. And I went to the audition and naturally didn't get the job. And my next encounter with Quentin was at Sundance when I saw Reservoir Dogs, and I was just so excited watching that film. And after the film, he came up to me and asked me, well how'd you like the guy who got your part? And I was like, oh.
I'm interested in playing any part that Quentin writes, really, and that was when we worked together last. That was everybody's feeling, all the actors that were on Reservoir Dogs. We'll come in and do a line if he wants us to, or we'll come in and play a big part, it doesn't matter. But if he wants us, we'll be there.
I knew from the very beginning that the film was going to be a huge smash. Smash hit. I knew when I read the script, I knew when the actors who were getting involved, I knew from meeting Quentin that it was going to be something really special. I remember going to a party when I was in the middle of cutting Reservoir Dogs, and I had all these images in my head from Reservoir Dogs. But they were such incredible, wonderful images, even though they were violent. And I went to this very uptight party, and I was trying to explain to some people this film, and I just realized that I couldn't without them seeing it.
You have to remember, see, it's kind of like died down a little bit, but like at the time, my profile in the industry, or the way critics wrote about me, or part of the thing that they always talked about me, all right, was violence, 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 violence. He's the violence guy, and he likes violence, all right, so in movies, all right, and so if you were going to take a slab at me, it was like almost like I'm immoral for doing what I'm doing, all right, like saying liking violence in movies is the same thing as liking violence in real life, all right, yeah, which is not.
Let's see. Well, I met Quentin because he had liked some of my earlier work, and he just wanted to meet me. I was kind of one of his favorite actors, and Brian De Palma was one of his favorite directors, and he kind of correlated us, I think. And what happened? He just wanted to meet. So we got together, and we met, and we had a good time, and he said, gee, one day we'll do a project together. Little did I know it would be his next project, because when he finished the script, he kind of, I think he was thinking of a different actor prior to it, and then suddenly he thought, you know, John might be really good for this. So he presented it to me, and I read it, and I thought it was one of the best scripts I'd ever read. Dark, but great.
I've just been John Travolta's one of my favorite actors. I've just been a big fan of his for like a really long time. I think he was great in Saturday Night Fever and Urban Cowboy, and in particularly in Blowout. That's like one of my favorite performances of all time. And I just haven't seen him like used in a movie the way I thought he should be used, the way I would use him. And so like I wanted to meet him, and I met him, and I really liked him, and I was just like looking forward to the opportunity of having the chance to work with him, on the right thing. There's a lot of people I want to work with, and it's just like, when the time's right, it's right. And then I wrote Vincent and gave it for him to read. I didn't write it for him, I just wrote the character. And he dug it, and he loved it, and I loved the way he would have took with it. And so it was like, okay, great, this is excellent. We get, right off the bat, we get to break the ice, and he's doing a terrific job.
I thought that he was going to probably have a lot of trouble getting me cast in it. As earnest as he was in wanting me to do it, there's a lot more kind of hot actors or contemporary actors that would fill the bill easier than I would. So I thought, he might have a hard time getting me in this. But he stuck to his guns, and he really pushed for me to be in this movie. And I'm thankful he did.
I've done True Romance, read Natural Born Killers, and auditioned for that. And when I heard that he had me in mind when he wrote this part for this film, I was too excited. So when I got the script, I read it immediately, and I couldn't believe what I read. So I immediately started it again to make sure, and I read it through twice, to make sure. I was like, God, this is so amazing.
On all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd.
I met Quentin at Sundance 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. I saw Reservoir Dogs, and it really screwed me up. It really blew my mind. And I went up to Quentin after this and said, "Oh my God, this is a really great film." And I met him there, and then he produced a film that I was in called Killing Zoe, which hasn't come out yet. And then he just acted in a film that I produced called Sleep With Me, which hasn't come out yet. And then he called me.
Like every other actor in Hollywood, came and auditioned, and I actually auditioned for the part of Mia. Everybody did, and then it was my birthday, and Quentin called me up and they asked me if I would play the part of Jodie, and I said, "Yeah, great, sure."
This film never addresses violence in a mean-spirited fashion. It's always something that's an outgrowth of the event, or it's something that's totally accidental that people acknowledge for a very brief moment and then they move on to something else. It's not those odes to violence that Quentin sometimes has been accused of writing.
September 23rd, 1994, the opening night of the New York Film Festival. It's your movie. It's playing. The shot where she gets hit in the heart with the adrenaline shot.
Yeah.
Someone passes out, is having a seizure. What did you think?
This movie fucking works. It's like, shit, this shit's like too intense for human beings. It's like, hey, I can stop people's heart, man. That's cinema.
Harvey, myself, and the doctor, helped this guy as he revived, and we helped him outside, outdoors, and he had a little bit of a sugar low or something, and I guess that just kind of pushed him over the top. So someone gave him some orange juice or something. I forgot what it was, Coca-Cola, and he was okay.
But actually, it was like, whoa, this is a movie.
Well, that's what I've been sitting here contemplating. First, I'm gonna deliver this case to Marcellus. Then, basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean, walk the earth?
You know, like Caine in Kung Fu.
He has a great facility for writing natural dialogue, even though these people are killers or, I guess, misfits in society in a certain kind of way. They have real conversational things going on in their lives, like normal guys or just normal people, and that's just so unique.
The great thing I think about Quentin's writing is that it all seems real. It's like the words just come out like real people talking, which is a relief as an actor. It's a relief.
He is a very, very talented writer. I've been saying that he's like the modern Charles Dickens. Dickens wrote about regular people.
We've asked everybody this question. We've asked everybody if they could take a stab at telling the story of the movie.
Telling this story? No.
No way.
Absolutely not.
No way.
Sure, it is.
The idea for all three stories was basically to take, like the oldest chestnuts, that you've ever seen, when it comes to crime stories, the oldest stories in the book, Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife, the oldest story about the big man's, the guy's got to go out with the big man's wife and don't touch her. You've seen the story a zillion times. the gold watch, the second story. You know, the boxer who is supposed to throw the fight and he doesn't. You've seen it a zillion times, all right? And the third story is not so much a classic story, but almost a big cliche. Like every other Joel Silver movie starts off with a couple hitmen showing up at a place and, you know, shooting somebody and splitting. And then, like, you know, that's like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then, like, they cut to Arnold Schwarzenegger somewhere else, you know, and then, like, you know, it's all gonna tie in. All right? In the third story, in this one, it's like these two hitmen, they go and they take care of this guy, but like after they kill him, we don't leave. We hang out with them all morning long and see what happens to them during the course of that morning.
What Quentin finds so interesting, he said anyway to me at one point, is not, you know, it's not the scene where someone comes into a restaurant and blows someone's head off, you know, but his interest in all these crazy, totally, you know, hyper-real things that he writes about is how we all in life react to them in extremely normal ways.
There are 3 stories that are really about one story, and it's very difficult to do that. It's very difficult to write something that is that complex and that complicated and still so, you know, simple of a story.
And it's about this kind of everyday common sense minutia meeting up against these extraordinary, amusing, or not necessarily unreal, but, you know, hyper real, dramatic activities that are taking place. And it's the sort of the textural fabric of the human amused kind of relationship to those larger than life events.
I remember reading Reservoir Dogs, which was structured in a similar way where you're real time and then flashbacks. And then in Pulp Fiction, he took it even a little further because there were 3 stories, and those stories somehow always ended up intermingling. If you give the audience the opportunity to use its brain, it will.
I'm using old forms of storytelling and then purposely having them go run awry. I mean, you know what I mean? You know, so it's like so it actually even seems even wilder because, you know, you've seen these stories a zillion times before, but you've never seen them quite play out like this before. You know, and I think part of the trick is to take these movie characters, these genre characters in these genre situations, and actually apply them to some of real life's rules and see how they unravel.
The different colors, the levels. It's very much, Shakespeare said, holding the mirror up to nature. That's pretty much what I feel his writing, and especially how my character is written, is like. It really is as if Quentin met Marsalis somewhere or saw this, experienced this situation and put it down on paper.
Well, the film kind of like has like basically like 3 leads in it. It's got Vincent, who's the lead of the first story, Butch, who's the lead of the second story, and Jules, who's the lead of he's really the lead of the third story.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
And then like there's different characters that come in and support them. Like for instance, like you know, Vincent is kind of supporting Jules in the third story. And he's got a small little part in the second story with Butch, and Butch has got a small part in Vincent's story.
Looking at something, friend? You ain't my friend, Palooka.
You know, so they're like, you know, you know, trading back and forth. But they're like the 3 paramount leads. You know, so like they're the 3 leads, and then everybody else in it. The Wolf, Harvey Keitel's character, Mia Wallace, Fabian. You know, they're like these special guest stars. They come running through the show, and then the other characters like Marcellus Wallace, who's like the big boss man, who's in all 3 stories. They're kind of like the bedrock characters that kind of take you through, you know, that tie all 3 stories together.
Don't you hurt him! Nobody's gonna hurt anybody. We're all gonna be like 3 little Fonzies here. And what's Fonzie like? Come on, Yolanda, what's Fonzie like? It's
cool.
What?
Cool.
Correctamundo.
When Pumpkin and Honey Bunny come in, it's their movie.
We don't know different.
Yeah, and we don't know any different. You know, they come on like they're the stars of the movie, you know. And actually, it's been that way with all the different actors in the film when I've been working with them, you know, when we work with Tim and Amanda, it's like a full solid week of working with them, and it's like, you feel like it's their movie, you know, and then they leave, and you go, oh my God, where did they go? You know, it's, you know, it's like, how can I make the movie without them now?
the other thing, which I didn't realize until we started making this movie, and someone said to me, you're really lucky. All these actors are just so great. I mean, no one gives you any trouble. Everyone is completely there for you. And I said, well, maybe it's not luck. And I realized, and I thought about what it was that we did, and I realized one of the things that we do is by having rehearsal. It's not like, okay, you make a deal with the agents, and the agent's got with the actor, and the actor feels like he's getting screwed, and he walks on the set, and there's no relationship. Is that not only do the actors get to work out on the movie before you start shooting, but also, you form a family before you start shooting. The actors and Quentin and I, we go out to dinner, we get to know each other. So when you walk onto the set, you've already created a real working relationship and a friendship with everybody.
That was a great one. So, Mr. Willis, let me ask you a question here. Is this the finest moment of your acting career, or what?
This is the pinnacle. From here on in, it slides down the backside of the
Okay, you want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do another one here.
Coming back to you.
Bruce. Give just a little bit more of a slow burn, like. Just,
okay.
Yeah. Just like blank, and then boom, action.
It's almost like doing stage work. It's the closest thing that I've done to stage work, I think. Because everybody here, I think, feels the same way I do and really respects Quentin's writing to the point of not wanting to come in and say, well, we have to take this line out and change this, and why can't I say this now? There's a respect for the writing that I haven't seen since I worked in New York on stage.
The theatrical aspect of it for me is more so the rehearsals and how Quentin, he speaks what I call actor language.
And Ken explained the whole thing, how we're going to do it, like boom, hit the windshield, boom, on the ground there.
Everybody's here because they love the script and want to work with Quentin, who's a great writer, and so it's fun. It's a great crew. Everybody's into it. It's like summer camp or something. It's really nice. It's the way movies should be made.
Well, I think he's one of the best directors I've worked with. And he's very, very enthusiastic, and that infects everybody. Everybody gets enthusiastic. And it's just fun. It's a circus, really.
Well, that's, what I've found is that the only way to feel like you have a chance of making a good film is by working with people who are better than you. And, or people that are totally unique and different and special, directors and actors.
Quentin's in that league that has no name, and it's above naming, and therefore once you put a name on something, it's dismissed, because then everybody thinks they know it and they can dismiss it. But he's a very exciting director.
Quentin is such a classic because it's this iconic American pop medley. I don't even know how many interests are filtering into Quentin's writing all the time, and re-delivering us our burger with this international twist. I don't know, I find that all Quentin's stuff is so fresh and so aggressive and so sort of daring and threatening at the same time.
He has more of a filmic reserve in his mind than I've ever seen before, and he's bold with movies. He's an aggressive filmmaker. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he's not concerned about mixing styles, or he just knows film is his clay.
I knew I would have freedom of movement, but that I'd have a good watcher, a good director, somebody that's in there with you, not in your head, not in your heart. I don't mind that either, but he's in there with you, and he expects a great deal.
That's great. That's great. Now remember, I want just blank expressions. Just blank. You guys are gawkers.
Quentin is a very responsible filmmaker. I mean, it's quite amazing. I mean, Quentin does not want to go over budget. He does not want to go over schedule. I mean, he's very proud of the fact that he makes his days and that he stays on budget, and it makes him happy. You know, there's some directors that don't give a shit. And it's not even, I'm not even saying it's bad necessarily. I mean, it makes it hard on the people who are putting up the money. But Quentin is a director who completely, I mean, he's so responsible. He's almost too responsible. Matter of fact, there was like one location on this shoot that it was funny. Andre, the DP, came up to me and says, "Oh, what's going on? It's like you're the director and Quentin is the producer." Because Quentin saying, "Forget it, it's too much money. I don't want to do it."
Action! Okay, I think we got this.
Andre? Andre? Well, it was good. He came over, but I mean, it was good until the thing kicked up when his foot came down.
There are moments. Can we do once again?
Well, you know, the thing is, I'm getting it from the roof. That's what I'm getting. Once he starts tipping off that roof, I'm cutting it on the ground. All right, we got the roof clear twice, right?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Yes. Let's move on.
Okay, coming around.
It's not worth it. It's a pickup shot. You know, it's one shot.
Quentin really sets the tone. It's a crew of people that love making movies. Like, I don't want to leave the set.
This is a total get it out of your system movie. Before we leave out of this, since we're so happy here, let's just do one more just like that, because that was excellent.
It is a movie that you should see again and again and again. I think it will live a long time. This is no fad writing. This is no fly-by-night thing.
Quentin wanted us to have a little bit more fun with Pulp Fiction, and you know, we were doing kind of LA underbelly, LA crime stories, and it's his turf. It's where he was born. He knows the city. We also know and love LA, so we had this common love or passion for Southern California. He kind of let us go with a few of the big sets, like the Jackrabbit Slim set. We integrated some of the, you can call it this Googie style, which was a vernacular only to LA at the time. It was these coffee shops that were kind of done outlandish architecture. And the whole reason for that was it was supposed to be in LA, which was a car culture. They were supposed to jump out at you, these oddball, you know, buildings with roofs that kicked up and did funny things. And then we thought, well, let's do that with Jackrabbit Slims. Let's do the exterior was a practical location. It was a closed bowling alley that we put signage on and everything. It was a pure Googie style, almost atomic age parking lot, and that was practical. And then the interior was completely built from scratch, and we were influenced by John Lautner and Albert Frey. These were the big wheel architects that were doing these kind of crazy LA things at the time. And it just fit into all of our passion for trying to capture Southern California in a way that the rest of the country hasn't seen it.
Quentin did have a good paragraph in that script describing it, and that was based on things like there was an Elvis movie called Speedway.
There were two movies. Red Line 7000,
Red Line, yeah.
and then Elvis Presley Speedway, and
Which actually had people standing in fake cars in a club.
yeah, there were two parts of the club design that he wanted us to kind of copy, and Elvis Presley one had cars cut in half and dining tables fit into the cars. So we kind of stole that idea, and we actually did it. We took cars and we gutted them apart and made the dining tables. And then James Caan, I think it's his first movie, called Red Line 7000, that had a race car drivers club where everybody was playing with little slot car tracks, and we integrated that into the scenery. And then in Quentin's one-paragraph description of the set, it said it had a dance floor that was a working tachometer. So it was this auto theme, race car theme, hamburger stand kind of thing. And so we took all these ideas and just blended them together, and it really truly was a recognizable piece of scenery that people still comment on. 50% of the movie was scenery on a stage, and 50% was practical locations.
Any other sets that come to your mind that were memorable?
Well, that was of course the biggest.
That's
The
the one
other
he
ones,
wanted
the
it
other
to
big
be,
ones we built were.
We built the interior of the hotel room because it was working with Bruce Willis for a week. We did it, and we didn't want to have them be in a really scrappy hotel room. We built the interior of the hotel room. We had the Olympic Arena, which is where they shot Rocky. We had them hold the renovation for us to get walking down the hallways. So the Olympic Arena was used for the practical hallways, and when you go in to introduce Bruce Willis, that was a little fitting room or changing room. Locker room. All those rooms were tiny, and we had to make it bigger. So it was a big cross-section of all these little sets that kind of fit into all of the practical locations.
That's good.
Was Marcellus's and Mia's apartment there too?
No, that was a contemporary house. Again, we really try hard to try to find something that has never been used before in a movie, and this was never used before. It was a contemporary, modern Hollywood Hills view home that we looked at a lot, and Quentin liked that one, and we ended up using that one. There was a little vignette room that we did build on the stage, and that was the control room where the Travolta character comes into Marcellus's house, and she's sort of monitoring
Looking
him
for the voice.
through speakers and all, and she's kind of at a control panel, and that was built in the warehouse.
What the hell was that?
Car crash in the front of the Eric Stoltz character. We picked a small vernacular bungalow, and we had to add a porch, which then John Travolta's Chevy Malibu crashes into. And then the other kind of interesting set was the basement of the pawn shop. Pawn shop was a practical location, and that was in the San Fernando Valley, and there are no basements in the San Fernando Valley, so we had to build a little torture. And these were all kind of labyrinth together. There were two warehouses that were behind the production office, and they were rather large. One was almost like the size of an airplane hangar, and that was the Jackrabbit Slim set. And then on the other side of the wall was this labyrinth of motel room, locker room, basement of the pawn shop, and a lot of other little tiny sets. So they're all in one building, and then in the front of that building was the offices where Quentin had his office. So what was really nice about that, Quentin was able to monitor what we were building, and was able to kind of walk through all of these things as they were being built. And again, from a producer standpoint, it was thought out in a way that there were no surprises for the director. We were doing things together. It's now 10 years since we did that movie, and it holds up very well.
Now, what we're going to show you is some lifts that were taken out of the movie. Now, there's a lot of Laserdiscs where like the director kind of redoes things and puts scenes back in the movie that he took out and whatever, and they have these like definitive director's editions. Now, I didn't do that on this because I made the movie I wanted to make the first time, but I still had scenes that I took out, all right, that I liked. and that I generally like and everything, but you know, with film you can have too much of a good thing. So we took them out, and now I'm not putting them back in the movie because the movie's the way it's supposed to be, but here in this section, just if you're fans of the movie, you can look at them and just see them for yourself. Now, it's really kind of interesting actually when you make a movie, because there'll be about, you know, 75 to almost 80% of it, all right, is just fine, and the people you're making it with, everyone likes it. But there's usually about like 5 scenes that kind of stick out from the movie, sort of like a sore thumb, that kind of draws attention. And everyone's like, oh, do we need this scene? Do we need that scene? Da-da-da. I don't know about this scene. I don't know about that scene. So you're always like arguing about like 5 scenes. Now the thing is, some of them, yes, they stick out, but they're supposed to stick out. You know, that's supposed to be how it is. And some of them stick out and they shouldn't. All right. And so the whole thing is trying to decide, you know, like Paul Newman says in Color of Money, you know, when to say yes when it's time to say yes, and no when it's time to say no. Everyone goes home in a Cadillac. So that's the thing here. You got to figure out as a director which scenes do you want to keep just because you like them, and which scenes you're actually right about. That yes, maybe they do call attention to themselves, but they should. So that's it. These are the scenes that didn't make the cut, but I like them anyway. And I hope you do too. Now, first scene coming up is the scene between Eric Stoltz and John Travolta when John is buying the heroin. Now, in that scene, originally, there was a big, long monologue, all right, that Eric Stoltz gave. And I love the monologue. I think Eric did a great job with it. But again, it was one of those things where it was just like a little too much. We wanted to hurry up and get to the date by the time we got to that scene in the movie. So we took out Eric's monologue. But now we're gonna show you the whole scene over again, but with the monologue intact. Here it goes. Take it away.
Still got your Malibu?
Oh man, you know what some fucker did the other day?
What?
Fucking keyed it.
Oh man, that's fucked up.
Tell me about it. I had it in storage for 3 years. It was out 5 days, and some dickless piece of shit fucked with it.
They should be fucking killed, man. No trial, no jury, straight to execution.
Boy, I wish I could have caught him doing it. I'd have given anything to catch that asshole doing it. It'd have been worth him doing it, just so I could have caught him doing it.
Yeah, it's like last week, I had to go down to Panorama City. Now, when I go to Panorama City, I might as well be going to fucking Nebraska. I mean, I'm about as familiar with both of them. I never go down there. Anyway, last week, I gotta go down there. So, I go down there. And guess what? I got lost. Now, you remember about 100 years ago when you used to get lost, you'd pull into a gas station and ask the guy for directions? Well, stupid me. Ooh, I'm suffering from the delusion that you can still do that. So I pull in this gas station and I ask the guy directions. And he gives them to me. But there's something kind of funny about him, you know? I mean, I don't think too much about it. Maybe the guy's just funny. I don't know. But I notice it. So I drive off. I got so fucking lost. The only thing that I can figure is this dickbait at the gas station gave me the wrong directions on purpose. What a fucker. A fellow American comes to you asking for help and you purposely fuck him up. I mean, what kind of world do we live in when people give people wrong directions on purpose?
What's more chicken shit than fucking with a man's automobile? I mean, don't fuck with another man's vehicle.
You don't do it.
It's just against the rules.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a scene where Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace interviews John Travolta as Vincent Vega. It's when John has just come to her house and to pick her up and take her on the date to Jackrabbit Slim's, and she comes down, and before you actually get a chance to really look at her, you just she comes down with a high-8 camera, she's pointing it at John, and she just kind of interviews him. You get the impression, possibly, that maybe she does this all the time whenever Marcella sends a goon to take her out to dinner and stuff. She always kind of comes down there and kind of blows the guy's mind. But with John, it doesn't quite work because he's actually kind of into it a little bit. Now, the thing is, this scene actually has a very checkered past because I'd actually written this scene about like 5 years ago or so. It was because I'd been like working on the basic idea for the Vincent Vega and Marcellus Wallace's wife for a very long time without ever having finished it. So this scene had existed for a while. So we shot it in the movie and everything, and the reason we took it out was basically because by the time that we actually got around to making it, it was becoming this cliche that all these movies made in the 90s were having all these young characters pointing high-8 cameras at each other and doing these big confessional interviews straight to the cameras, becoming this big, every 4 out of every 5 movies had a scene like that. So it was quickly becoming a cliche. So I took it out for that. And the other reason I took it out was because I personally don't think the scene's that great. You know, I mean, to me, it sounds more like someone trying to write like me than me. With all the little references in there. I still like the idea of you're either an Elvis man or a Beatles man. You know, you can like Elvis, but you can like the Beatles, but no one likes them both equally. At some point, you have to decide which one you like more, and that tells you who you are. I've always believed in that. All right, so that's one aspect of the scene that I still like. But anyway, here's the scene, and special note to Miss Thurman is the fact that she actually handled the high-8 during the video scene. So that she's a camera person. Also, one other thing very interesting is we did a test, you know, to transfer the high-8 to film, see what it looked like. And we did many different tests. We had it widescreen at 235. We blew up the high-8 to the CinemaScope. And then we had 185, and then we had it just the normal video borders with just black background, black on both sides, to see how the high-8 looked. And I gotta tell you, it looked pretty good. It looked like bad 16 millimeters. So basically what I'm saying is if you have never made a film before and you want to make a film, shoot it on high-8 and transfer it to film. All right, because that's what I would do if I had never made a film before. Here's the scene. Bye.
Smile, you're on me as camera.
Ready to go?
No, not yet. Do you ever see Barbara Walters interview the movie stars?
Once or twice.
Well, that's what this is. Pretend I'm Barbara Walters, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions.
About what?
Oh, life, the world, yourself, whatever I might find interesting.
I don't like answering questions.
Oh, but that's not your problem. That's my problem. I'm the interviewer. I have to make you feel comfortable so you'll open up and reveal things you normally wouldn't. Okay, I'll ask you an easy one first. What's your name?
Vincent Vega.
Any relation to Suzanne Vega?
Suzanne Vega's my cousin.
Suzanne Vega, the folk singer, is your cousin?
Suzanne Vega's my cousin. If she's become a folk singer, I sure as hell don't know nothing about it.
Well, now I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions I've come up with that more or less tell me what kind of person I'm having dinner with. My theory is that when it comes to important subjects, there's only 2 ways a person can answer. Which way they choose tells you who that person is. For instance, there's only 2 kinds of people in the world. Beatles people and Elvis people. Now, Beatles people can like Elvis, and Elvis people can like Beatles, but nobody likes them both equally. Somewhere, you have to make a choice, and that choice tells you who you are. Well, now, I'm obviously not going to ask you that one, because you're definitely an Elvis man, but you're hip to where I'm coming from. Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
I knew that you could. Okay, first question. Brady Bunch or the Partridge Family?
Partridge Family.
On Rich Man, Poor Man, who did you like more, Peter Strauss or Nick Nolte?
Nick Nolte, of course.
What's your favorite way to say thanks in a foreign language?
Merci beaucoup.
In conversation, do you listen or wait to talk?
I have to admit that I wait to talk, but I'm trying harder to listen.
If you were Archie, who would you fuck first, Betty or Veronica?
Betty.
Cut. Print. Let's go eat.
The next scene that we have is the Esmeralda cab scene. Now, we kept this scene in the movie, but initially, me and Sally edited a scene together that we were so happy with. As far as me and Sally were concerned, it was the best edited scene of the whole movie. Except it just took way too long, right at a time, right in the middle of the movie when you don't want to take a long time. You want to hurry up and get Bruce on his way, get him to the apartment with his girlfriend, Fabienne. So we ended up making a condensed version of that scene for the actual film. And again, like I said before, in the actual film, that version plays better. But as just a scene unto itself, me and Sally still like this first version that we cut together. So that's what we're gonna have on here now. So now we have a bell and another bell. And stop ringing that goddamn bell. All right, get that cut out of here. Now here's the Esmeralda cab scene, the long version.
Mister. Hey, mister.
What?
You were in that fight. The fight on the radio. You're the fighter?
Who gave you that idea?
No, come on. You're him. I know you're him. Tell me you're him. You killed the other boxing man.
He's dead?
The radio said he was dead.
Sorry about that, Floyd.
What does it feel like?
What's what feel like?
Killing a man. Beating another man to death with your bare hands.
Are you a weirdo?
No. Is a subject I have much interest in. You are the first person I've ever met who has killed somebody. So, what does it feel like to kill a man?
I'll tell you what. Give me one of them cigarettes you got up there. I'll tell you all about it. So, Esmeralda, the Lobos. Is that Mexican?
My name is Spanish, but I am Colombian.
Pretty name.
It means Esmeralda of the Wolves.
Your name means Esmeralda of the Wolves? It's some halo you got there, honey.
Thank you. And what is your name?
Butch.
Butch. What does it mean?
I'm an American, honey. Our names don't mean shit. So, moving right along, Esmeralda, what is it you want to know?
I want to know what it feels like to kill a man.
I couldn't tell you. I didn't know he was dead until you told me he was dead. Now that I know he's dead, you want to know how I feel about him? I don't feel the least bit bad about it. You want to know why, Esmeralda? Because I'm a boxer. Once you said that, that's pretty much all there is to say about me. That son of a bitch out there tonight, that Floyd, maybe one time he was a boxer.
He was dead before he ever stepped foot in the ring. All I did was put the bastard out of his misery. If he never was a boxer, that's what he gets for fucking up my sport.
The next scene is the scene with Monster Joe and Monster Joe's daughter Raquel, played by Dick Miller as Monster Joe and Julia Sweeney as Raquel. I ended up taking out this scene basically because it's just actually the same reason I ended up taking out most of these scenes, except for the John and Uma scene. It was just too much at that moment when we kind of just want to be moving along. Basically, we want to hurry up and get to the diner by this time and see John and Sam do their scene. So there was too much. But I still really like the scene. I particularly love the scene between the wolf and Raquel. Because, I don't know, it's just, it's the closest I've ever come to writing a scene like Ernest Lubitsch or something. They're just kind of this kind of little witty repartee. I'm not saying I'm as good, which the scene will verify, but it was just a different flavor that this scene and the dialogue had in that. So I always had a big fondness for it. And actually, of all these scenes, it's the one that I almost kept in. All right, right down to the wire, and at the last minute, we don't want to be here, unfortunately, but I want to be there. But it's here for all of its glory. And where this scene falls into the movie is right after when Jules and Vincent and the wolf are at Jimmy's house. And just when they're getting ready to leave, and they go, "We're going to go to Monster Joe's." Boom. All right. Then it cuts to the wolf working out his deal with Monster Joe. One other thing to note in here is the guy playing Monster Joe is Dick Miller, who's one of my favorite character actors. If you're a Joe Dante fan, he's in every Joe Dante movie, and was in 72 Roger Corman movies, and it was just an honor to put him and Harvey Keitel in the same frame together. So anyway, here it is. It's the Monster Joe and Raquel scene.
I said it before, I'll say it again. Your business is always welcome.
I think by now I've earned the equivalent of frequent flyer miles.
Frequent flyer. Tell you what, if you ever need it, I'll dispose of a body part for free.
How about an upgrade? You dispose the whole body for the price of a body part.
Was that no-frills body disposal? I can take out on that in the yellow pages. No, I gotta run that past my accountant.
Where's that reprobate daughter of yours?
She's on the yard up to no good.
Take care of it this afternoon. Hello, boyfriend.
Hello, girlfriend. I swear, heartbreaker, Joe should change the name of this place to Beauty and the Beast Truck and Tow.
Oh, you're prejudiced because you love me.
Guilty.
Now, business is done. It's time for pleasure.
Time it is. It's time for bed.
Au contraire, Senor Lobo.
Do you have a different idea?
Most definitely.
What do you think?
I think you're taking me out to breakfast.
Well, you thought wrong.
Oh, that's not fair. I never get to see you.
Raquel, I've been up all night. I need sleep. You understand the concept of sleep?
Yes, sleep is what you do after you've taken me to breakfast. Just get used to the idea. Indulging me is the price of doing business at Monster Joe's Truck and Tow.
Raquel.
Come on, I haven't seen you in a long time. I miss you. You're taking me to breakfast. So it is written, so shall it be done.
On my way, Rex.
We cool?
Like it never happened.
All right. Yo, Vince, I apologize for being in your shit like I was, man.
Hey, you got every right, man. I fucked up.
Are they having a moment?
Boys, this is Raquel. Someday, all this will be hers.
Hi. So, what's with the outfits? You guys going to a volleyball game or something?
Thanks.
Maybe down in long
Think nothing of it.
So, Marcella said you just got back from Amsterdam.
Sure did.
How long were you there?
Just over 3 years.
I love Amsterdam.
You been there?
I go there about once a year to chill out for a month.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Why would you? Hey, do you know a hash bar about 3 blocks from the Anne Frank house, the Cobra?
You been at the Cobra? I mean, that's a real small place. How'd you know about the Cobra?
I've known about the Cobra since Derek opened it.
You know Derek?
I've known Derek going on 6 years now.
You're kidding. Derek and me like buddies.
So are Derek and I.
This is blowing my fucking mind. I mean, I practically lived at the Cobra.
When I'm in Amsterdam, I literally live at the Cobra. I stay in the house with Derek and Petra.
You stay at the Cobra?
My picture's on the wall.
Which picture?
You know the photos Derek has behind the bar? Well, there's one of Derek between 2 girls wearing baseball jerseys. Petra's the one with the baseball cap, and the girl in the cowboy hat's me.
That's you in a cowboy hat? So you're the one in a cowboy hat. Jesus Christ. I mean, these things like this make me realize how small the world is. I could have took you out. How come Marcellus didn't hook us up?
Oh, when I go to Amsterdam, I go alone to be alone.
I could dig it. I heard you did a pilot.
That was my 15 minutes.
What was it?
It was a show about a team of female secret agents called Fox Force 5.
What?
Fox Force 5. Fox as in we're a bunch of foxy chicks. Force as in we're a force to be reckoned with. And 5 as in there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us. There was a blonde one, Somerset O'Neill. Do you know her? She was a leader. There was a Japanese one, a black one, a French one, and a brunette one, me. And we all had these special skills. Somerset had a photographic memory. The Japanese fox was a kung fu master. The black girl was a demolition expert. French fox's speciality was sex.
What was your specialty?
Knives. The character I played, Raven McCoy, her background was she grew up raised by circus performers. So, she grew up doing a knife act. According to the show, she was the deadliest woman in the world with a knife. But because she grew up in the circus, she was also something of an acrobat. So she could do illusions, she was a trapeze artist. When you're keeping the world safe from evil, you never know when being a trapeze artist is going to come in handy. And she knew a zillion old jokes. Her grandfather, an old vaudevillian, taught her. And if we would have got picked up, they would have worked in a gimmick where every show I would have told another joke.
You know any animal jokes?
Well, I only got the chance to say one because we only did one show.
Tell me.
It's corny.
Don't be that way. Tell me.
No, you wouldn't like it and I'd be embarrassed.
You told like 50 million people, and you can't tell me? I promise I won't laugh.
That's what I'm afraid of, Vince.
That's not what I meant. You know it.
Well, now I'm definitely not going to tell you because it's been built up too much.
What a jip.